So as we stand, we want to have our feet about shoulder width apart. And by that, I kind of mean the outside of the foot aligning with the outside of my shoulders. I don't want my feet to be too wide. Um, Another way to look at it, we basically align kidney 1 with what I call the shoulder well. The alignment with gallbladder 21 and the whole connection through the shoulder that gallbladder 21 has towards the shoulder joint itself, the clavicle, the neck. So this whole space between the clavicle and the upper trapezius, which when our shoulder blade is properly placed, basically create this depression like the opening of a well that then has that direct connection with the source at the bottom of the well, the bubbling spring. From there, we want our knees to be just loosen, not completely straight and lock, not bending them too much to start with. Just relax, which will then allow our hips or pelvis to rest gently on our legs. And as we're here, we want to maintain our weight over kidney 1 so that we feel the connection of our foot with the ground going from the big toe towards the outside edge of the foot and to the heel, and that the arch of the foot is gently suspended above. So there's this roundness under the foot that gives us this kind of buoyancy sensation, or almost like a suction cup kind of feeling of our foot grasping the ground without tensing up the toes. So basically, if we look at it, we have the padded area under the big toe, the padded area under the other toes, and where the two meet, we have this kind of divot that we can find with our thumb, that gentle hole in it. So this is the location of the acupuncture point, but the whole we can refer in Qigong to kidney 1 as being the whole arch of the foot, the whole space that's risen above the ground and not the part that touches the ground. So the alignment is a little bit more towards the front of the foot rather than towards the heel to have that buoyancy, but we're not putting all of our weight just on the front of the foot. We want it to be spreading through the heel, the outside, and the two area. And the only toe that has a good grasp of the ground is the big toe. That gives us this kind of pushing forward motion if we needed to. Right now we're just standing, so we have a line that go from the big toe under the knuckle of the big toe and towards the heel. And then we have also on the space basically between the pinky toe and the second to last. There's where the knuckles are underneath it is also the other area. So we have kind of two triangle. Um, One from the point with the heel that go and the space behind the toe, and then these two spots with the big toe makes the front triangle and the back triangle. So as we rest on it, we have this gentle buoyancy that helps us to release our knee, have our hips properly placed. So we're feeling here the pelvis as if we're sitting on something. So I want to have this idea that I'm about to sit, which will help to open up and release my lumbar area and allow my sit bone to rest above my heels. So my weight is at the center of my feet, but my sit bone, if I was to tie a string from the sit bone, would kind of go straight into the center of my heel. So I have this sitting sensation here while keeping my weight at the center of my feet, which then helps me to have very free hips so that all my pelvis is free to move around without losing my stability on my feet. So hula hoop kind of ability to move. And this allows me to kind of wrap the pelvis around, open the lumbar area. So Migman, which is basically across from the belly button, the apex of the lumbar curvature. Opening it, meaning that the lumbar curvature is reduced as my hips are, or my pelvis is gently wrapping around, creating a bit of a divot around the inguinal crease, the scarpa triangle, which opens up the internal space so that the blood flow, the lymph can connect the body and the legs, basically opening up for the yin channel to connect into the body as well. Gives us that seated sensation into our leg, and at the same time open up the sacroiliac joint so that the sacrum and the coccyx are free to move or to be pulled by the perineum muscles, which will help reduce the lumbar curvature because the lower part of the lumbar is being stretched and pulled downward. And that will allow the lumbar curvature to pull back, which will also create the sensation that the rest of my spine is opening up. So by sitting properly, and then if I add the internal pressure from the diaphragm as I'm letting my diaphragm push down, the front of my lower abdomen starts to fill up. The muscles get a little bit of tensegrity, which redirect the pressure towards the perineum. The perineum muscle also start to gently receive that pressure and hold it just like an elastic, that when you start to pull, the elastics start to pull back, which brings the coccyx under, and then that pressure is redirected towards the spine, which then open up everything. In order to find it, the easiest way is to keep the weight at the center of the feet. So we keep our awareness underneath us or at the feet, and then we allow everything above it to just let go of the tension. And then if we can align the top of the head above the center of the feet, and then try to allow the space in between to adjust itself, not by mentally wanting to adjust it, but simply by saying, okay, align Bai Hui, the top of the head, with the space between my kidney one, between at the center of my feet, and then let everything else stretch and open. And usually by doing that, you'll get a deeper breath. It just naturally occurs. The body feels like the upper part is stretching up, while it feels like the legs are pushing down. We feel a lot more connected with the ground.
Thanks for watching. Leave your question or comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about Taiji Qigong Shibashi, visit my website, qigong18.com, for more information on online classes and private classes, just like the one you just watched. Have a good day.